And whoever's left, they're going to first pick. So Shen probably going to be the first pick, we think.
And it's curious that they decided to ban Kha'Zix and give them Shen instead of just leaving them both up, instead of doing a throwaway ban. But there's something they want on the backside that's going to give it to them.
And it's interesting, I think, the fact they went for Malphite, is there something in there that you're saying, okay, we need to get this? So something that Malphite could counter. You're just not sure on that one.
I'm not sure on that one. That's almost like what we were talking about with not banning Kha'Zix, is they wanted to make sure they got Shen through, or at least one of the big players through. Because this is one of the tournaments, more so than any, where we've had a couple mainstay bans, like Jace, Evelynn, and Kha'Zix, especially in these games, and Nunu. There were 4 bans already off the table, so your windows for diversity and craziness in picks and bans is smaller, which means you can narrow down the choices for first pick to a much smaller subset.
They left the Mumu out there. Cho'Gath has been picked up, so we're guessing that's the jungler sorted out. And of course, you talked about Bloodwater on Lulu. There it is. Default picked up as soon as Nunu disappears. What are we thinking then? Is it going to be, once again, Graves and Sona?
Yep. I think you got it.
I think you got it, and it's going to be Ezreal.
I don't know if they're going to do. I don't know if you're going to do it right here, but I'd expect a Graves and Sona, unless they're trying to get Demon Law off of Ezreal. But that would require Echo to pick something up that he hasn't played in the past 7 games and just go different with it.
But it's like I'm thinking back to Curse Copper Mlg. Where was it?
Raleigh. Corki
Raleigh.
15 times.
Corki, yeah. It's like, yeah, we did the listening. It's like, I think I'm going to play Corki.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, just lock it in already. We know exactly what you want.
We know what you're going to do. Lee Sin, they thought about it. They dwindled on it. Was that a bait?
All right, this is them taking a risk, right?
Okay.
Taric, very aggressive lane. If they don't do Graves, they would do Misfortune and go for super aggressive bottom lane with Taric and Lee Sin coming in for ganks. You stun a target, you allow Lee Sin to land his stuns perfectly, but that's a gambit in itself.
Well, it's time to pull out the strats. And Demon Lol, come on, you know you're going to select. You know you're going to select Ezreal.
Let's do it already.
You start there looking at it saying, well, you know, maybe I could go something different, unless they're going to try and take something away from them. And then he's probably going to go, nah.
Well, at the very least, I think they would take, like, the Sona away from them instead of picking a Lulu. But no, the MF they could take away from him. There's been 1 game for MF. Demon Law has played MF once this tournament, and he lost that game. So,
oh, they're switching to the Amumu Misfortune.
Very nice.
That's, I mean, that Misfortune, you know, Amumu worked really well for them in the last match. Why not?
And even the fact that they have Cho'Gath on their team as well will combo so well. One of the reasons that St. Vicious has been playing so much Cho'Gath is he says Cho'Gath is a good counter to Amumu, but they leave that option completely off the table since they most likely have Cho'Gath in the top lane. Well, it's going to be a 1v2. When they do Cho'Gath with a Lulu, they're definitely trying to force 1v2s.
So let's see where that one goes. What are we thinking now? Echo's going to go Graves here. I mean, his Misfortune's no longer available. Ezreal.
I don't see it. I don't know why you'd go Ezreal.
But he's got it.
He's got it. So if you're not going to try to deny Demon Law, I mean, Demon Law denied himself Ezreal. It's to get out of the Amumu ult, I suppose. But Graves, if you brought Cleanse, could do a similar thing just with his quick draw.
We're seeing a very different
comp
from Dirtnap Gaming here.
That's the risk we talked about in the pregame, though. They're going for something different. When they doubled up their compositions yesterday in their best of 3, they got crushed in the next game. So they decided to go with something completely different here in Game 3.
So final AP mid-champion. Whoa, is it the one-trick pony?
What would they go for? So far in mid, Shellstress has played Katarina Kassadin, Orianna Karthus. He's played so many different things. Lux wouldn't surprise me all that much. They could fish for binds. Twisted Fate. That was his main coming into the tournament that we haven't seen much of.
Wow, okay, so we've got a complete different set of players for you. Different set of rules, different set of game, completely shuffling the pack up.
Everything's
Twisted
up.
Fate.
Best
Everything's in the air. It's a best of 1. It is going to be all over for one of these teams. What are you seeing from this?
This looks a lot like a composition World Elite would run, not just because of the TF for Azure Gaming. They're going to be very strong at ganking bot lane. They're going to have a lot of lane pressure. They're going to be pushing many lanes at once, and TF is just going to add to that. For Dirtnap Gaming, they really have to win the lane they have Taric in. if they get forced into a 2v1, they have to be able to kill because they cannot push as fast as Lulu. So for them, it's going to be about trying to stop all the pressure with their Shen and Karthus globals.
So the pressure is definitely on from the globals, from everything else involved in this game. The managers will have just given that last little word of confidence. Don't worry, guys, you got this, you got this.
Dirtnap Gaming has a very positive manager. I was speaking with him earlier. He's a very happy guy.
Who is the manager for Dirtnap?
Don't put me on the spot.
Don't put you on the spot.
He's a nice... If I knew his name, I would have remembered it and said it first. Don't do that.
Just put you straight on the spot. I was trying to think who it was myself. I definitely met them last night. But nevertheless, here's the North American Season 3 Regional Live Qualifiers. We are here. There's going to be one place left in this game, in this tournament. 7 teams already there. Who is going to join them? It could be Dirtnap, it could be Azure. They're trying to get a place in the final match of the day. As it is, though, you can see the players, they are ready, they are tense, they are ready for action. We are getting live into the game. If you just joined us, where have you been all morning? Because Dirtnap Gaming now are at 1-1 with Azure Gaming. They won the first game but lost the second. Blue team at Dirtnap Gaming, red team Azure Gaming. Lots of gaming teams. We are playing games. It is League of Legends. Who is going to go for something? Is this going to be the time for a level 1? They've sort of teased each other many, many times. Oh, they might get killed out here.
Oh, he lands the Q.
He lands the Q, goes straight in for it, on towards Bloodwater. Dude chooses not to go for it. Of course, the Rupture is a big deal. You know, there's a lot of stuns on Azure Gaming, but they feel they've already forced the pressure. And again, the Q just missing.
Looks like we'll see a disengage. I mean, we did see a level 1 last game even. They didn't get the kills, but there were 2 flashes burned on Dirtnap's side and 3 flashes burned on Azure's side when they invaded the red buff, and that had a huge play into how the rest of the game went out. So they forced stuff, they put down 2 wards, and now they're going through to the blue. They're completely spotted out, so we may see a counter invade, but most likely not an engagement.
They're both going to go for the blue buff. Completely counter, as you called it. They're just going to head on in there. And I think as soon as they realize they're around here, they're like, well, they're probably at our own blue one there. The only person standing around is Shouster. He's going to spot them. They've actually chosen not to go for it. They are at 132. The conga line could get back in time, but they're going to get spotted. That also means Azure Game is going to head back out of there. Counter invade is on.
It's almost like that first game when both of them were sat straight on top of wards until like 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and they just both decided to stand there and wait, playing a giant game of chicken. Speaking of the chicken, though, the 5 men are waiting to see if they'll start the blue, but instead, the counter invade, they're both still stealing blue, man.
Counter is on. Are they going to try and get anything away from this? Oh, they caught on towards Echo. He had to use Cleanse out there. Prophet flashes away. Echo has already used his flash. He could get dropped here, but the exhaust on Demon Lord cleansed it, and he gets first blood. Very nicely done. A lot of summoner spells burned, but it was worth it in the end.
4 flashes. We'll see if it's worth it, because usually the first blood is, but the fact they have no flashes to deal with Lee Sin ganks, who is a very potent early game force, that's the opportunity now for JD Wu to make his presence felt. He stole the blue, gonna have double buff soon. They have to make it count because that really hurts to give first blood to Demonlol, the carry of Azure Gaming.
So lots of flashes used. JD Wu now double buffed up. Is he going to go looking for anything here? Of course, while that was all happening, Karthus put a lot of pressure in that mid lane. Down the bottom here, it is Chris versus nothing here. Shen versus Cho'Gath, chat. We just saw Chris get lane bullied in the last game, bullied in the first game. How is this one going to learn out?
Well, he's been the biggest bully on Shen when he's been able to control that, so he'll get... I don't even think he'll get that bullied early on because Cho'Gath also takes a while to power up in that bottom lane. You can already see he got the early level 2. He's really putting the pressure on.
He got a great shadow dash there because it immediately turned nothing here to do a basic attack when the siege minion came in. So that entire wave line, it's done it again. The entire wave line turns and attacks him as well. So he's using the multiple power of all the minions. Very nicely played and controlled. In towards the mid lane, we have seen JD Wu possibly going for an invade. Shouster versus Prolly though. We have seen Prolly pushing this lane up really early on.
I really want to go back to JD Wu though. The Taric stun went down and they're chasing down Bloodwater. Here comes Lee Sin.
Lee Sin going up towards the top there. He comes around the side there. Bloodwater should be the target. He hasn't used the Q just yet. Keeping it down. Does manage to go for it. Echo now the target. Actually, Echo taking down very low. The shield comes out, but Echo might get dropped. Can he get into the bush in time? They tried to turn it around. JD Wu does pick up the kill, and he Arcane flashes away. Arcane flashes? Arcane shifts.
Arcane shifts.
That's the one.
That's the attempt to get back at the early game flash burning. They knew they'd have no flashes, so he came around the back, and it was very well done for that executed gank.
So, top lane. They've had a kill apiece, but unfortunately, it's not been Echo that's picked up that kill. Demon Lol, kind starting out. You can see he's got that gold advantage. He's got 600 gold already.
And unfortunately, even though they turned around the kill, Echo was the bait in that, which meant he couldn't really stick around for the kill. He's had to be pushed back a bit for experience, and Demon Lol has been able to freely farm the majority of that lane out.
So that flash being burned, I guess you could say that's the turnaround maybe. You know, making sure that they did get at least one kill, or one of those people that had flashed through early on. Can they turn into another one? We do see JD Wu still sitting prey in that top.
He's going to wait for a Taric stun, then he's going to safeguard in and try to land a Q.
There it is. There's the safeguard against towards Demon Lol. If he goes down, it's certainly worth it. That is the difference. Very nicely executed.
That's the turnaround they needed. Now they made up for losing the first blood at level 1. They punished the right lane for no ganks, and that was really good job by JD Wu communicating with his team for what they needed to do to get back in it.
And how do you stand on this one? Because Demon Lol didn't go back and spend any of that money from the first blood. He had to stick around because he would lost too much experience. But after that first kill, after his blood water had gone down, maybe he should have said, right, okay, I can afford this item, I should go getting it.
I think it was all right.
Nothing
the
is
Vamp Scepter
very
wouldn't have
low.
helped him that much in that case. Buying it now is probably okay. And Chris is really trying to bully on nothing here. I don't think he's going to be able to get a kill, though. He's got to be careful not to get over-aggressive, because Amoon was there for a gank. Or just to hold the lane.
Well, Prolly is not far off level 6, remember, so as soon as that comes in, Requiem would be available. So Chris is going to try and keep him as low as possible. But as you mentioned, DJ Lambo's come up here. I think it's more to the case just we need to get a little bit of a sustain, of course. With those Vorpal spikes, he'll be regenerating the health. How would you normally level a Cho'Gath in a 1v1? And we, you talked about it earlier on. We thought this might be a 2v1 lane.
Silence. You max the silence. The silence duration goes up and the damage, so you want the 3-second AoE silence in a team fight, because even though it seems like the rupture is the most noticeable thing in fights, the most impactful thing is the 3-second AoE cone silence, so he's getting that up first.
So you see Chris clearing out those waves, picking up all the gold he can, but actually it's nothing here, despite the fact he's been shoved on towards that turret the whole time. There is actually ahead in CS. He's just been back to buy. You can see he's picked up a Ruby Crystal, a chunk of health, boots, and actually in the mid there, Shouster getting caught out, Wall of Pain, stuns out Prolly though, turns around, puts more damage back on towards Prolly than Shouster took himself.
So Prolly, we haven't had a chance to talk about the mid lane, doing quite a good job keeping Twisted Fate back, already picking up that early catalyst, which means he's going to get an even earlier Rod of Ages. As long as he keeps Twisted Fate shoved back, he controls Shouster's global presence, because anytime he leaves, Prolly would get a heap of damage on the turret and then just freely be able to Requiem for himself. So right now, Dirtnap Gaming playing these lanes really well.
But Shouster is starting to clear out those waves much quicker. He's going to go across and pick up the blue buff, and he's going to Prolly going to do the same.
Prolly's going to do the same, Prolly?
Prolly. We do see Shouster picking it up. Of course, they don't have the timer on their own blue buff because they were fighting over it. It was DJ Lambo that picked it up, but DJ Lambo also didn't have his own blue buff because JD Wu would pick that one up, so they're timing back and forward. It is up now though. JD Wu sitting prone, waiting again. Like a praying mantis at the back, waiting for Dirtnap Gaming to pounce. It's more Profits pounce than anything. It's kind of like the ideal situation, the ideal initiation with a quick dazzle.
Unfortunately though, Azure Gaming has put a ward up in that top lane, farthest most brush, and they're actually getting zoned by the range of Taric stun, playing it very cautiously and making JD Wu waste a bit of time for coming up there.
Well, we do see that Giant's Belt, of course, coming out on Shen. First item they went back to buy. Seems to be a standard place now. As it stands though, Echo and Profit, they are using this to a good advantage, to be fair. They're out CSing now, forcing Demon Lol back, but I guess as soon as he hits 6, he's going to be able to wipe those waves out with that bullet time. If he keeps getting shoved in, he can just start pushing the lane himself.
Yeah, he'll get it back. That lane is almost kind of reset since it was the first blood for MF, and then they got the 2 turnaround kills with Lee Sin. Made it pretty even. And this bottom lane is particularly interesting because it looks, from everything we've seen, like nothing here is losing. But if you look at the minions, he's actually winning. So Shen has put so much time into trying to kill him. If he doesn't get a kill here, it will not have been worth it.
It will not be worth it, but it's going to be the Requiem. No! Oh. He survives! and they thought that was just enough. Now Shouster's going to go down the bottom. He gets the car towards Chris. Chris, though, immediately has to use the shield. He's going to get taken down. JD Wu tried to support him, but a beautiful counter from Shouster.
We'll see if they can turn this into anything, and that just means even more win for nothing here is Cho'Gath. Chris almost able to take it over the top, but he gets turned around on, and now we have to see, since Twisted Fate went bottom, how much can Prawley do to this mid lane?
Is this going to turn the pressure just like it did in game 1 where they almost got the kill? They almost got the kill, but it got countered and turned around. Is this going to be the exact same again for Azure? There's bullet time going off. It was Echo as the target. Stan United comes in. Nothing here. Pops around. Prophet now turns the target. Echo tried to stick around, but nothing here. Snuck his way in. I didn't even see him come up. He teleported onto the ward in the top push. Very nice sneaky play.
All in all, though, both bottom laners coming up top to create a bit of a 3v3. They just cancel each other out.
They do cancel each other out. Shouster farming down this bottom lane, but while this is all happening, Prawley is continuing to get free farming mid.
96 now. I think he's going to have a 10 or 11 minute Rod of Ages pretty damn soon. If you can complete those items. Got about half the damage on the turret. He's keeping DJ Lambo pretty occupied. Mumu has not been able to get anywhere for those Curse of the Sad Mummy ultimates. It's really going to be a matter of how Prawley does when he enters teamfights, because this game, of the three, has the closest start.
It's definitely going to be a case of can they land that combo, the ultimate combo of Curse of the Sad Mummy and Bullet Time. When they do finally pull themselves together, both teams have shown some pretty good team coordination when it comes to the team fights. Very close between these two teams. And you know, honestly, from my point of view, I think the winner of this is going to get through. I see these as stronger than Meat Playground and Marn, just from my perspective.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll share that with you.
I feel like Meat Playground and Marn are kind of equally as strong. I'm not sure who would make it through.
I guess we will find out later on. You got to keep watching.
In the next game where you're casting with Kobe
24.
Carmen Hensler 24.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get him back on the stream as it stands though. Chris, a little bit of poke back and forth, both up to level 8 now. BF swords for both AD carries. And actually a mana potion picked up by Echo, of course, because Ezreal a little bit of mana hungry. Oh, look at that ward about to wear out, but it was just in time to catch DJ Lambo coming around.
But JD Wu is in here, and they don't know, so there's the flash ult, but TF coming in too.
TF coming in as well, and they're going to catch him. Oh, nice bullet time, because the Sad Mummy was used just at the right time, but Requiem does a heck of a lot of damage, and everybody from Azure has to back away. Azure were in all sorts of trouble, and that's the power. The Requiem was immediately followed through, and again, nothing coming from it.
I almost feel like JD Wu, even though it was a beautiful kick, didn't realize how much damage they were going to turn around back to Azure Gaming. I think when they saw the TF ult coming on the 45, oh no, Shouster's!
Shouster's getting caught out. This time he will go down the Defile and the layways enough. And well, he just strolled in, and like you mentioned, you said it, you called it. It's going to be a quick blood Rod of Ages, and it worked.
That was a big mistake by Shousters.
They're on to Demon Lord at the top there. The Lulu ultimate comes down towards Echo. We do see JD Wu coming around the side. It's going to be the pickup. It's Echo that picks it up as well.
He's still going.
He's still going. They're actually chasing on. Up the top there, they're chasing, and Bloodwater is going to back away, probably putting the farm down in the mid.
That all started with a huge mistake by Shouster's Twisted Fate. He wanted to make it in so he could defend his turret in time, but you can't just walk in that condensed area when Karthus can wall you, slow you, trap you with Defile, and land all of his Qs on you. Really, really cost them as a team.
Really cost them as a team, and that is the top lane going down as well. So, 2 turrets currently. Mid lane turret did go down after that, and that is the top turret down as well. Shouster now going to be picking up that blue buff. So, Dirtnap Gaming open up a lead. Last time they opened up a lead, they kept it, as did Azure. How are Azure going to turn this one around? It is only a 1,000 gold difference, still nobody going for the dragon.
But Prawley's Karthus is getting scary, taking down that turret, the really early Rod of Ages that you said he also completed, and now Sorcerer's Shoes. When you add the fact that Demon Lord and Bloodwater are still up farming top lane with no turret, that could very well be a dragon for Dirtnap quite soon.
Let's see, Shouster puts that ward down. Wants to keep a vision in the middle lane now, and he's lost that turret. JD Wu's going to be giving the blue buff across to Prawley. Prawley will return to the mid. You do see the duo lane returning to top as well. Actually, Echo covering out, just clearing out that mid lane, so he did push, trades back up there. JD Wu also heading north. There is a ward in the river, so they should get spotted out, but they are going to have a 3-man coming up there. JD Wu sitting on this top lane so far.
and that was going to be their strategy coming in. We knew when they picked Taric, they're really looking to make sure that Echo beats Demonlo. They do not want Demonlo getting more farmed, and that is why JDW has spent so much time ganking that top lane.
DJ Lambo just backing off in the tri-bush. We saw that one out. Bottom lane currently is actually being won out still by nothing here. Slowly but surely, he's actually doing a fantastic job down here against Chris.
I think this lane is going to swing back again, because it looked like Chris should have had the advantage early as he was pushing nothing here back to his turret, wasn't keeping up with the farm. Then Cho'Gath's passive scales up really amazingly. His silence gets crazy at level 9. But then when Shen gets his Warmogs and his Sunfire Cape, I think it's going to swing back again for Shen. So right now, the power spike is in
it's just teleported into mid. Nothing here teleports to mid, but Prolly was well aware of that one. And actually, ironically, they were about to gank down there, but it didn't happen. We are also seeing Shen going back. The dazzle comes in. It was Chris actually standing on it up towards the top. And Demonlo gets away. Oh, bullet time! Hitting straight across Chris. Complete full volley into the face. Is it going to be enough? The exhaust goes down. Chris going to get dropped here. And it was turned round so nicely by Demonlo into the bush.
DJ Lambo still going in.
Straight away, DJ Lambo comes down. Profit now taken down. It's a double kill for Demonlo. And all the work, hard work, undone just in a moment.
They decided to pull an aggressive move.
Oh, nothing
with
here
Shen.
now in trouble. Prolly's going to go in towards him. He manages to land the Roll of Pain. DJ Lambo is going to come around. He's going to get the Defile on. I don't know why he didn't get it earlier on. We see DJ Lambo now coming around. The ultimate gets popped. Is it going to be enough? Nothing here is going to get dropped. One more Defile. Oh, now he's going to switch. He switched targets, but he's going to pop his Requiem. He's going to just back away. He's got Requiem available. They're both very low. He's just trying to get to a safe position. There it is.
Here it comes.
It's going to be a double kill. Boom! Headshot.
And he gets them both. He really wanted to make sure they didn't interrupt that. At that point, nothing here in DJ Lambo should have just ran recklessly towards him, hoping they could somehow interrupt his ultimate, but they were screwed either way, because if you kill him, he's going to ult when he's dead. Great play by Prolly.
Just great play by Prolly. Just knew exactly. He's like, why bother taking one down when I could get two? And they actually used a lot of abilities, a lot of spells, a lot of summoner abilities to try and help that one out. So, how does this turn things in terms of items? That was a bit of a frenetic bit of pace.
The flurry of action was really a back and forth. The biggest gain is that Prolly is getting really farmed, and he will be the carry for them this game. He's going to be getting his death cap pretty soon, and that's the biggest pickup, is that needlessly large rod. The rest of the items aren't really going to be that large until Chris can finish his Sunfire Cape, and nothing here can get something similar on Cho'Gath as well.
So Prolly very strong now. That Requiem is going to start to hurt, but of course it's down for a little while. Not a crazy amount of time, but it was interesting to see that teleport though from nothing here into the mid earlier on. Were they just trying to basically bully Prolly out of it, knowing damn well they were going to have to fight up top?
It burned the flash from Prolly. They were hoping that maybe he wouldn't flash out in time. He wasn't getting pressured at all in the bottom lane. I think he was just trying to make something happen.
Well, something did happen, but fortunately for him, it was Demonlo that made it happen in that top lane. Of course, he seems to be the mover and a shaker for Azure Gaming, but as it stands, Echo and Profit now down in this bottom lane, up against Nothing Here. Nothing Here has had a little bit of free farm for a while, but his turret now under pressure. Dazzle on towards Nothing Here. The turret taken down very low. Just next wave of minions should be enough to take that one down. And well, we're seeing Chris now in a pretty standard position we're used to seeing him on Shen.
And I want to actually look at the gold just to see how close these lanes really are. 6,900 to 5,800 in the mid lane between Karthus and Twisted Fate. But then the 80 carries, the things that have been carrying for Azure Gaming, Demonlo getting an edge on Echo, not happening this game. It's 5,800 to 5,700 in the advantage of Echo. That's the thing they need to keep close most of the game.
And also, one important thing to note on Chris, Home Guard boots are on with the Sunfire Cape.
Once again. Speedy Shen.
We'll see if we still get any.
Speaking of which, they're planning a gank right now.
There he is, sat ready and waiting, revving up the engine to come in. Here he comes on towards Profit. He's going to come zipping straight through. Zoom straight through. Doesn't quite catch it. There it is. That's going to be the Shadow Dash. Nothing here is just going to get dropped here. Why did he use that ultimate? I'm not too sure. He kind of needed to use the ulti kick there. Oh, probably being caught out. Meanwhile, up in towards the top lane. He's going to turn around. He hasn't got Requiem available. That's to tell a lie. He has, but he's not going to pick up anything from it, so it's a waste of time.
Didn't get anyone low enough to use it.
DJ Lambo. Oh, no.
But they will get the bottom turret off of this. That is Dirtnap Gaming. But again, they traded their 4-man gank for the enemy's gank of Twisted Fate, and they're really just trading towers and kills. straight up back and forth.
Straight up back and forth. Where's JD Wu going? Is he trying to bait them out to stay long enough? He's going to go in for Bloodwater. He's just used his ultimate. He's gone too deep.
Oh.
And Shouster just turns around, pulls that yellow card out. Now Chris is going to try and go for a max range Shadow Dash. No, not going to land it. Backs away.
That was an oops moment right there by JD Wu. He landed his Q. He's like, got to go in. It's the bait. It's the curse of Lee Sin. You land one, you're just like, I got to ride the train. I got to hop in on the target. And it was a mistake at that juncture.
I think he kind of thought his team were closer because they'd kind of come up and then they stopped and they were like, oh, should we? No, we'll just carry on up here. Oh, he's already gone. Craziness. But nevertheless, it keeps things very tight in this game, which is great for you as a viewer. 300 gold between the two teams.
But stressful for the teams.
Stressful for the teams, the managers, and the fans of each team. 3 turrets to 1, and well, very, very tight game. Jan, if you were to give this a straight 5v5 fight now, who would you give it?
I'd give it slightly to Dirtnap Gaming right now. I feel like Prawley, if he gets in the right position, will be able to take something out, but it is not a one-sided thing. That is a very, very close call. If Prawley would be in the right spot, it goes to Dirtnap Gaming, but if DJ Lambo and Demon Low combo their Amumu and MF ults together properly, it would just crush for them.
It would crush for them, and we have seen it comboed, or not quite comboed, but we've seen great play from Demon Lord, just popping in that bush and popping it straight off. Probably Oracle picked up here, 20 minute. The home guard didn't really last that long, Chris, actually. I was quite surprised. I thought he was going to be zipping in a little bit more.
Yeah, it was enough. He zoomed in pretty damn fast.
Profit didn't spot that ward just around the side there. Demon Lord going to go towards Echo there. Manages to shred half his health, flashes in. He's got the red buff. Bullet time should be enough. Yes, it is. Here's going to be the Requiem, but it's not going to be enough. We are going to see the Dazzle come down. You can see JD Wu also following in. He's just used his safeguard. We are going to see Shouster coming in. 2 teleports come down. He's going to get called out in the rupture of the stun card. JD Wu should be able to back away from this one. He kind of needed Profit to back away from. Instead, he had to use the ward and place it down.
And Profit had to use his flash, but this fight's going to continue because Prawley came into support.
Prawley came into support and he's going to get picked apart, and that is going to be as Azure Gaming surely picking up. No, Stan United coming in from Prawley there. He's still there. The Defile going down. Nano turning on towards DJ Lambo. He has already used the Requiem, so he wants to keep the fight in the location, but it's not going to happen, and everybody disperses away, and Azure Gaming now pull it tighter and tighter. 8-8, all squaring kills. And, ooh, DJ Lambo trying to get sniped out by True Shot Barrage.
Wow. So a 2-for-1 overall. Very long extended fight. You can really see these teams with teleports and globals and requiems can really make fights happen wherever. That all started though because Demon Lull outplayed Echo in a lot of ways. He got the jump on him and just destroyed him with Misfortune, forcing everything else to happen after that.
5-3-1, equal builds though. Static Shift and Bloodthirst up though, Pickaxe being the difference. And now Dirtnap Gaming coming in with that timer on the Dragon, and they're going to pick this up before Azure can respond to this one. That's going to extend their gold lead. This is much needed gold lead right now because it's so tight.
Cannot echo enough how close this is. That was unintentional. They keep going. Echo is now falling behind, in all honesty. He's about 700 behind, and you could really see Demon Lull's putting the pressure on top of him.
Demon Lull trying to carry his team through to victory here once again. Nothing here. He's done a fantastic job on it, all honesty, against Chris. He's kept up ahead of the CS farm, and he's keeping himself relevant. He's got now Warmogs in there. He is just the big tanky beast right now. He's not going to do a great deal of damage. That Feast will always do a bit of damage. He's more of a disruptor right now.
Really just trying to get those AoE silences in, stopping. You know, he lands a 3-second silence on Ezreal, and he would completely shut him down in a fight. He'd have to cleanse it off. He'd then have to Arcane Shift away. It would be very, very potent. So much of this, we haven't seen a full-on team fight because there's been so much split pushing and so much global potential. It is getting to that point where they will start fighting 5v5 though.
Just got a glimpse of Prawley in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen there, giving full instructions across to his team. You can see he's very vocal, making sure that everybody else is sat quietly listening to what he has to say, making sure that everything comes across to them. So, the orders have come out. What is it going to be? What this situation? They've just picked up Dragon Jet, and they're just going to keep lanes as is. They've got the 3 outer turrets. They should go too deep. They don't want to get caught out, but they want to make a pick of their own.
They want Chris to turn into a monster, and they do not have that next stand united yet. I'd almost expect them to try to set up some kind of home guard Shen lane kill once again. They're making sure all the other lanes are getting pushed.
Well, they've picked him
so
off.
They can get the pressure on.
They're going to
It's going to be tough for him to get away with this.
They're going to try and close in on Chris here. And that one single... Oh, he just dashes through, but he's dashed through directly into the team, uses the flash, and now it's going to be straight in there. Chris is just going to get dropped down. The bullet time was enough, and they did manage to catch him nicely. And it was Demon Lol really that called it again. He just got a glimpse of that one single mini golem that was poking out of the bush.
And they collapsed in. I think Chris could have been a bit more creative in his way of escaping. He should have waited for Shousters to pick his teleport spot before dashing over the Baron Pit, because that really did him in as they landed that stun after the taunt.
So what will they turn this advantage into? They're going to try and...
Shousters in trouble.
Shouster now gets called out. That's going to be the wall of pain. That's the easiest pickup you can see for Prolly. So, wow, mistake after mistake. And now it could be nothing here. Or Blood Wonder. They're going to turn it towards Prolly. They do have, of course... Demon Lord was in there. He doesn't have bullet time. He just used it a moment ago. And instead, everybody chooses to back away slowly. Of course, the spawn time is pretty low right now, so Chris was back up.
Shousters keeping Dirtnap in the game with that. It was very, very unfortunate. Not really his fault, in all honesty. He was just clearing wolves, but they had really good ward coverage in that area. They were able to take him out.
What's Prolly doing here? Is he going to back away? There is a ward in the back of Baron Pit. Can try and bait it out, maybe see if anyone's going to come a looking. Echo's going to pick up the blue. That's going to give it across to Prolly. And both teams with the Oracle, making good use of it. JD Wu shows himself down the bottom, so we're going to keep pushing towards that bottom wave, and the wave clearance is continuing to come out here. Nothing here is coming down. He wants a piece of JD Wu. They're
hitting Baron on top of a ward and actually got extremely low off of it. Prolly's completely out of mana. This could be a small opportunity for Azure to try to push something, because they know Dirtnap Gaming is going to have to go back to base right now.
Yeah, JD Wu has to back away as well. Nothing here is going to get a little bit more pressure on towards that bottom turret, because he does have the teleport available to get that split push going, just like Chris is. Heading down towards the bottom turret, so it's going to be the outer turret. I think they're going to try and choose the advantage off. No, well, they pinged it, but they're all backing away from it.
Not really sure what to do, really. Azure played it really slow last game when they won. They had that tough game against Team Marn in the group stage, and they're not really sure what to do with victories. That was... I thought they almost stole that red away from JD Wu, but he was able to complete it.
Yeah, he'd already smite it down and managed to finish it off there. JD Wu not going to get that stolen away from him, though he didn't even notice. Nothing here should be able to take down this turret here. There's a long time before anyone's going to get remotely close to trying to defend this one out. He's just going to keep on shoving that wave. There's got another wave coming in, but I think Chris might get there back there in time. So dragging up in 1 minute 20. As it stands, it's Demon Lol that kind of keeping Azure Gaming into this one. But Prolly also doing a fantastic job for Dirtnap Gaming. And you just got to make sure, Echo's just got to make sure he doesn't get baited into anything again like he did before.
They have to play around Prolly's Karthus. If they get too far out of position, the protection that Defile essentially would offer, not wanting to have the other team fight in it, will fall away and they'll be able to train down Echo. They're trying to catch Demon Lol. He's running full speed. Don't think they're going to be able to make it.
Don't think they're going to get him. That strut's going to help him out there. We are seeing an Iceborne Gauntlet being built here, I think, by Echo. So slightly different build to what we saw Demon Lol going with Ezreal. It has been something we've seen across the tournament, across many tournaments. In fact, OGN definitely a strong piece in that one. How do you stand on that one compared to, say, Last Whisper? And of course, there is quite a bit of item stuff. Actually, no, it's really helped than armor, really, isn't it, stacked up?
It would be a pretty good choice in this scenario. They need a bit more kiting potential with their team, but they're trying to catch a Mumu. Oh my god, they might get him!
They might get him. No, there's Demon Lol.
Speed Shen. No, he's not Speed Shen.
He's not Speed Shen. He's going to come across and Shadow Dash instantly.
Yeah. He wasn't going to catch him anyway.
So
he's probably... It's like Alistair pulverizing the ground. You're just like, damn!
Ah!
Couldn't get him!
Rage punch. The Oracle's still on profit, though. They are going to clear out this ward. They did try and start out the Baron before. And they are going to do it again. They're going to go towards it. They realize there's nothing here. He's down the bottom. He's got teleport. And they're going to force it out. Twisted Fate uses his ultimate, just trying to bait it out there. That's not going to be available. Are they going to catch something? They do get a dazzle on towards Bloodwater. He will be visible through that ward. Oh! Everybody caught in bullet time, along with Kirsten and Sad Mommy. Beautifully played there. Chris gets across. He's on towards Demon Law, but it doesn't matter because the rest of the team are getting dropped around the side. Echo is going to survive. The Requiem's going to come out. Will he get one? He will get two. Demon Law gets taken down, but it doesn't matter. It's oh so very close, and nothing here. The sole survivor of the battle. Wow, a 5 for 4.
Everything worked out for both teams, if that makes sense. All the damage that needed to get out happened in the right manner. So the Amumu plus MF ult was perfect. We got to see a replay to get through this even better.
Let's see how it goes, Jack.
So they get the stun on Bloodwater, but the Amumu Banish Toss really catches everyone. You feel like the fight's over at this point, but the big thing is Prawley flashes in and gets everyone just low enough. Chris is zoning out Demon Law, trying to do his 1v1, and the big thing is Echo didn't get baited in, so when the Requiem hits, he can go in and finish off Demon Law. There's still a giant Cho'Gath standing, but he's not big enough to do Baron by himself, so the game just gets longer because everyone got gold from that.
So, who got the big advantages? It was a triple kill for Prawley, so he picked up a huge advantage there. You can see he's 1,500 ahead of his compatriot Shouster in that mid lane, but Demon Law's ultimate was just full on channel across the entire team. He picked up a few kills as well. He's at 745. He's got the QSS on there now as well, so he's not going to be too worried about Chris shadow dashing onto him.
I don't know if that QSS is going to protect him all that much. The Requiem's still going to be doing a heap of damage to him. It's good, but mainly it's just the Last Whisper that's going to help him with that. I don't think they're going to get another Amumu MF combo quite that good again in the game, and he's really going to have to worry more about 1v1ing people who come to dive him.
And just look at Prawley's build now. He's kind of topped off ultimately now. If he'd have had that Zhonya's, I don't think he had the Zhonya's in the last fight, did he?
He did. He didn't have the death cap in the last fight, actually. It was one of the reasons he was able to stay in so well.
True Shot Barrage
Echo
did steal it. He got the Echo steal that. Nicely done with that True Shot. There is a giant creep wave along the top there, which Chris is about to go wipe out. That's going to give him another chunk of gold. He's got the Warmogs on him as well now, so he's going to be much more tankier in the last fight. I'm not too sure whether he's going to clear this out in time. Yes, he is, because the Sunfire Cape will turn everyone towards him. Nicely done.
And the split push will continue now. Finally, Chris has the big items, though. I wonder if Demon Law is going to be able to deal with him. Hasn't been the case. He's not as fed, obviously being 0-4, so we'll see if he doesn't have the big edge. You know, he doesn't have the Ravenous Hydra coming out quite yet. You can see Twisted Fate in the bottom lane, Shen in the top lane. Really looking to posture a lot here. They just pinged out wards. They saw that Azure's going top, but he's going to be able to get to safety.
Yeah, he's immediately responded to that one as well. Q lands on towards DJ Lambo, so they get full vision of them as they pass on through. So, very, very close game again, once again. All three games have been fairly tight, apart from the second game maybe wasn't so tight. But it is a 1,000 gold difference, and that is going to be Azure picking up their third tower to balance things out. Just 400 gold between these two teams at 31 minutes gone. This is for a place in the final match to decide who will be the Season 3 match. There's just one spot available to them. They're going to pick up another turret. This is the first time in a long time Azure Gaming have took the gold lead.
And one trend that I've noticed across all of Azure's games is they don't build Aegis. I want to see if it comes to bite them because it is such an efficient item. Prophet has one himself, so that gold lead that is dead even, the value of items, because they have more auras for Dirtnap Gaming, is going to be big if they have these giant big clashing team fights, which we're so close to seeing right now. They don't know that Azure Gaming is there.
They thought they'd gone for the Baron. They could have probably continued to shove. Maybe they would have been caught fighting at the inhib turret, but wisely they backed away and everybody advantages pass once again. All square in turrets. Chat, this is tight.
It's just so tight. The kills are even, the turrets are even. Well, the kills are almost even. The turrets are even, and the gold is as close to even as we can get by a couple hundred gold.
Well, that one kill is, well, actually, tell a lie. It would balance it up, but neither of us can do math. It's all good. It's a good job. It's not my job to know the gold differences or anything like that. Prophet is clearing out. Well, he's just picked up two wards, two freshly placed wards as well around that Baron. Baron vision completely taken away. Neither team really has good Baron vision at the moment. Dirtnap game with that one in there. There is a ward at the blue buff for Azure. But, well, we do see Chris return to that top lane. And, you know, he was behind in the farm, but he's definitely sprinting ahead in farm now.
It's what happens with late game split push. Sen sort of, despite being 0-4 and nothing here being 3-2, Chris has more gold on Shen, so he is the bigger solo laner in this circumstance.
So, if you recall back when this vision was very much minimalized around the Baron, it was DJ Lambo that got caught out last time trying to poke in there. I wonder if the same could happen again, as you see Dirtnap Gaming with that Oracle clearing out all the new freshly placed wards.
Both of these teams have had their bad experience getting caught around Baron. If you remember the first game of the group for Dirtnap Gaming, they lost to Good Game University when Prawley went into that bush where there is a pink ward right now and got caught on Cassidon. So these teams both know the perils really in their recent memory of going in around Baron, clearing out wards. Azure is trying to push down mid. We're so close to a fight, it's just a matter of one team deciding to do it.
They're going to shove straight through. They're going to try and force it on towards the middle inhibitor fight here. And the Dirtnap Gaming choosing to go for Baron. I'm not sure about this one.
Trading a Baron for an inhibitor is always a hotly contested debate. All the Korean teams love going for the inhibitor. This is probably a win for Azure. They're going to get the Baron, but the inhibitor is for sure gone.
The inhibitor has gone, and they're going to try and push this one on. They're going to force this towards the Nexus. They can't do that. I just take your victories here. They are going to see if they're going to get one Nexus. Homeguard comes in. He gets the taunt straight across. Isn't enough. Chris is going to take the damage. And immediately a Homeguard JD Woo go comes in. Curse to the sad mommy, but it wasn't enough. Bullet time comes in there. Prolly flashes in towards the entire team. His Demon Lol is the target. Prolly's got dropped there. Requiem's going to come out. Can he pick up one or two? No, he can't, but he takes 3 people very, very low. JD Woo misses the Q on towards Demon Lol. Doesn't matter. Bloodwater, meanwhile being chased by Echo. Not really the right target. JD Woo continuing on towards Demon Lol. Echo is split off to try and get. He's missed another Q, and that surely means Demon Lol can avoid the damage. He gets the slow onto JD Woo. Stand United now coming out. They're going to try and come in. Hasn't got Homeguard available. They have the Baron, but wow, you've got to question what was worth it there.
If they could have cleaned up a little better, it might have been worth it. I saw when all of them had Homeguard, I thought they were going to be able to chase through. Gotta say, Chris's flash taunt was a little preemptive. He was so far ahead of the rest of the team, the taunt wore off before they could follow up, and everyone got away with slivers. Demon Lol juked so many of JD Woo's Lee Sin Qs, and the fact that none of them died after getting the inhibitor, I think is a win. As long as they can withhold this next Baron buff push by Dirtnap Gaming, the inhibitor is the better choice.
So Homeguard boots across the board now for Dirtnap Gaming. Iceborne calling it, well, he didn't quite land it. I mean, Echo was going after Bloodwater while they were kind of split targeted. If they'd have just maybe focused, whether it was a case of hit what you're near.
They thought they were going to get both, because if they could have cleaned up 3 or 4 kills there, they would have pushed straight in for a win, and that's really what they were going for. It was kind of an all or nothing. If you focus on one, sure you get a kill, but it doesn't really grant you much in the grander scheme of the game.
See, the Dragon's going to get picked up. Gold advantage is going to be with Dirtnap Gaming. It's only going to be 2,000. They have the Baron, but they are up against super minions in that mid lane. They have their base exposed. Who is in the better situation right now?
It's so close, because the inhibitor gives them the map pressure, which means all the side lanes are pushing because all the side minions have 100 extra health. But they're fighting a team with Baron, which means they can't really 5v5. For now, Dirtnap Gaming has an edge because they have the Baron buff active, but as long as Azure Gaming doesn't lose the game while the Baron is active, then they'll be in a better situation.
Well, you see that giant stack up the top. As the True Shot Barrage is going to wipe a chunk of it out. But we are going to see Azure Gaming moving in, and they're going to get themselves another inner turret before Dirtnap Gaming can respond to this one.
Nice.
They will take it down very quickly. Hit and run. The tactic current by Azure, and that is going to keep the gold just that ever so slightly closer. There's 2,000 between the two teams. We are 37 minutes into this game, Jan. 37. The pressure, the adrenaline, everything running through these teams must be crucial, because I mean, this is really testing the nerve of these players, because either team is really one big team fight away from losing this game.
And we saw the jukes by Demon Lol.
They're not reacting.
Who had been there before, and they might get another inhibitor turret. I don't know if they can get back in time.
They can't react to this one quickly. Stand United comes in, but the turret is just an inch away. There it goes. Turret goes down. Shouston not getting quite caught out. Bullet time. Did it really do the target damage? I'm not too sure. Could be DJ Lambo. You can see JD Woo going in there. Has got his ultimate. He wanted to get in and get the ultimate kick. Curse of the sad moment he used. Everything being used to try and stop them escaping. Demon Lord caught out. Tree shot barrage lands across. Echo took down Demon Lord. DJ Lambo now trying to take one for the team. The Rupture comes up. Prolly uses the Zhonya's Hourglass. Can they pick up more kills? The Wall of Pain doesn't land his target, but Shouster turns around. The Cathless Ultimate's going to come out. Requiem does come down. Double kill. Now they're going to get out towards Nothing. Oh, the Ironborn gone. It's managed to proc. He got the slow on him. Can he get on towards Nothing? Oh, yes, he will. That's why he picked it up. That is going to be the kill. That is the ace.
All right, 38-second death timers on DJ Lambo and Demon Lull. Are they going to decide to try to take an inhibitor? But no, they decide completely against it. They have to go back to defend their base.
They have to.
My.
Wow, they have to back off here. It's 18-16, so close between the two. But Chris has to back off. The rest of the team are going to try and clear that giant wave along the top there. They're trying to pull some advantage, but they're not even going to get an inhibitor turret out of this. They have the top lane inhibitor completely exposed.
It's pressure versus team fight ability right now. Dirtnap Gaming is completely confined to their base, but they've proven that they can win team fights against them there. They really forced that fight straight onto Azure Gaming. Came away with 5 kills for only 1 death, and they just powered themselves up even more. The damage that Prolly is putting out right now with that Void Staff and everything else that he has, now picking up a bit of tankiness with the Giant Spell, is a little bit too much for Azure to handle. But games like these are always the most intriguing because the stronger team has map disadvantages, and I just don't know how it's going to play out.
So the big question, okay, this is experience over zealousness maybe, I'm not too sure, but if you are pushing into that situation, you know, you as a team have made the decision we are going to go for this inhibitor. The ultimates were all mistimed. Everybody used one at a time. Would a more experienced team, like a WE, for example, prime team name, would they have gone into that situation saying, if this was happened, this is what we're going to do? They would just know it. The
most experienced team probably would have just 5v5'd them in the base, because if you're going to get chased down anyway by a team with Baron, they're probably going to kill you. At least try to get something back. But this is the nerves, right? Even Dirtnap Gaming's missing a lot of skill shots with these nerves. Like, you can tell these guys are being very just shaky right now, and Azure Gaming making the calls as well. I'd say it's just like they're going back and forth with they're at least together on their tactical decisions, right? They may not be the most sound, but that's one of the things that's making the game so crazy.
So Dirtnap Gaming pushing out. They have their inhibitor respawn. 2 exposed inhibitors though. Baron is up in 30-second time, and that is why Azure Gaming are definitely backing away. Dirtnap Gaming not really in a position to go directly for that Baron as soon as it spawns. They don't want to fight this one. They're going to continue to try and keep the pressure on the push.
And they kind of have to if they get stuck in the middle of the map situation again. Like, if they let Azure Gaming get deep on them, they're going to do an inhibitor trade again, but this time they'd lose 2 inhibitors. So if they go for Baron right now, before Azure Gaming has gotten in position to rush for inhibitor, they might get a chance. But this would run the risk of getting caught in a Mumu MF combo. This is very tense. A lot is going to be decided here.
Here comes the ward placement, and that's going to be Blood Ward. As soon as he puts that ward in, he sees it, but the Baron's already gone down. They are too late for this one. Azure, how are they going to respond to this one? Are they going to try and rush up the mid? They have. They've pinged on the inhibitor, saying we can get there quicker than they can. They're all going to back off quickly. They should have just dashed for it, but they're not going to happen. Dirtnap Gaming all backing off. They will be back in base. And home guard boots everywhere.
They remember the 5 home guard boots. They got the jump. Dirtnap Gaming snuck it out. They knew exactly when they had their window to do it, and they took advantage of it. So now, can they push into Azure Gaming's base? They're going to have to make sure all the waves are outshoved so they don't lose any spare inhibitors to random creep waves. It's very confining having 2 exposed inhibitors, but it looks like they might be in control to handle it.
Well, these have been 3 tense, long games as well, I have to say.
This is the best one of the 3.
This has definitely been the best one of the 3. The best game so far, maybe, of the tournament. Probably getting caught out with the Rupture there. The silence, though, didn't hit him. Nothing here, backed away just a little step too far. Obviously using the smart casting, not quite seeing it. We do see Lee Sin. How long has he had that Black Cleaver? I've not noticed that one on him.
I think he just picked it up in his most recent back.
I mean, just look through the items in total. We do see Warmogs across the board. Mercurial Blade as well, actually, on Demon Lol.
Demon Law is going really glass cannon in this case. The Mercurial Scimitar is the more offensive choice in your defensive items. We've seen Warmog's GA or this one, but he's really looking to carry. He knows he needs to do as much damage as possible. You look across and there's a more utility-based item build on Echo. He's also quite far behind Demon Law in gold, so he's not quite reached his item thresholds yet. He's probably going for an Infinity Edge with his last item on Ezreal, which in itself is a very aggressive combo as well. The big item of the day, though, is just all of Prolly's items. Sitting in the team, the Requiem's going to be doing significant chunks of everybody's health, and Chris is really powered up. Huge amounts of damage and defense on Shen.
They're pushing the top inhibitor turret, the stun on Chris there. Chris is going to get caught with the rupture though. Shadow Dash is out of it, and the poke continues. They're just trying to expose one of these turrets, just one moment, that's all they want. One little moment, and you know they could do a heck of a lot of damage. Oh, Kursner Sandmama used the caught the opportunity to go into Prolly, but he's Zonya'd Hourglass through the entire bullet time. Shouster now uses his ultimate. Oh! He just got deleted where he stood. DJ Lambo now with the Ignite on, but it doesn't matter, it's Bloodwater. DJ Lambo's gonna get one more shot. Doesn't quite. Oh, the Q just dashing out. The minion caught out. They need to turn around. Doesn't matter. Oh, Requiem's gonna come out. Oh, on the fountain, he got the Requiem down. It's gonna be an inhibitor picked up by Dirtnap Gaming. Can they turn this to the win?
There's only 3 members alive on Azure. They're going for inhibitor clears. If they get some kills during this, they would be able to finish. Look for a taunt to go, or they're just going to clear the base.
There's the inhibitor turret going down, the second one. Demon Law got caught out. He's cleansed out of it. He's just dashed away straight back to the base. JD Wu comes leaping in. They're going to take down the second inhibitor. They have a wave coming along the top here. It could be enough to get towards the next turret. Still 30 seconds to go.
Taunt again.
They're going to get on the taunt. Demon Law caught out. He's going to get down. Demon Law goes down. Nothing here goes down. Dirtnap Gaming are going to take victory. They are going to go through. Azure Gaming are out of the tournament. They put up such a gallant performance, but there you can see it. They have won.